Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Doomed Friend and today I'm going to be starting a 100% walkthrough of the game Dark Souls 3. I am going to show you how to get to every place, fight every enemy.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Super intense start to a game. I freaking love it. I absolutely love this game. So I'm going to be giving tips and everything as we go along the game, including how to kill certain enemies. I'm just gonna name myself Mouse. Yeah. Also, fun fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit of lore as we go throughout the game, because the Dark Souls 3 lore is ominous and ambiguous and creepy and awesome. So, out of all of these, if you're just playing through it casually, it won't matter as much. I like to pick Sovereignless Soul because you can get a free level up at the beginning of the game, but if you're having trouble staying alive, maybe start with the Life Ring. I'm just going to do Sovereignless Soul for the extra level because you get a free level. I'm just going to be running Knight with a basic strength build, and I may edit it as I go along. Now, I've been practicing this game and I played through a lot of it so far on a different file just so I can get ready for this, and so I can remember where everything is because it can be a little confusing. But like I said, you follow me and I'm going to get you everything in the game. If I skip something, it's sometimes intentional, but if I skip something or get something wrong, just let me know, and I will let you guys know of things that I'm going to be intentionally skipping, etc., etc. So at the very beginning of the game, there's only one specific thing I'm going to be skipping, and then the rest of it I'm going to be doing. So I'm playing on controller, as you can see at the bottom there, it says read message. I am playing on PC, but I like the controller just for games like this. So this will give you little tutorials on how to do things. You can read them if you'd like. There's like the control camera, there's the attack, there's a regular attack, like heavy attack, whatever you want to do. So one of the big things in this game is targeting, and then backstabbing. Hooray! That's something you're gonna see do a lot. So I'm going to kill all the enemies in this area, but as you can see, you don't get a ton of souls from the guys in this area, so it doesn't totally matter if you kill them all or not. I'm just doing it for the tiny, tiny, tiny bit of extra souls you get. One of the most important ways to play this game is learning how to parry, but I never learned and never will, so I don't care. I mean, parrying is really good, and a lot of bosses can be parried, and a lot of really hard enemies can be parried. Not a lot of bosses. A lot of really hard enemies can be parried. So I would recommend learning that if that's something that you think you'd be interested in doing. I think that's the path that I'm not going to take. Yeah. Yeah, so we're not going to go... Is it that path? I think it's that path. There's two places here. I'm pretty sure this is the don't go this way. You can even look on the ground. So it wants you to dash. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Come over this way. You can come back that first right-hand turn. We can go ahead and take it. There's a small faded soul there. Just a little tiny item. The path that you don't want to take is up here on the right. So once you get past this little fountain, if you go to the right over here, you see this path. With the tree in front of it, and it's kind of looks like a small cavern thing. I'll kind of show you a little bit of what's back there. I'm just not going to go all the way back there. You can read the message to turn back. Let's see if I can get up there without triggering it. So there is an enemy back here that I want to try to see if I can show you. Yeah, right there. So it's a crystal lizard. He is relatively difficult to fight. That's why I recommend coming back a bit later when you're ready to fight him. But as you can see, there's an item back there, and then the crystal lizards always drop an item as well. I think that one drops a Titanite scale, which is pretty useful. It levels up boss weapons, which we'll need later on. Yeah, for the very beginning of this game, it's just going to be nice and chill. We're going to be fighting the thing that the thing that makes people not want to play this game. They start playing this game, and this is what makes them want to get a refund, is this first boss. Not because he's hard, but just because it sets kind of a skill floor. And if you're not able to get past that skill floor, it can be relatively tough. Alright, another achievement that we're going to have to get is get all the gestures. So, to get every gesture, you have to rest at a bonfire at least once. You have to rest at a bonfire at least once, because you have to do it when you get up there. So you can't do a no bonfire run to get all gestures, although I don't think you could do no bonfire run regardless. So this is where they're like, you should parry, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna attack. So these guys will take 2 hits and only give you 20, as you saw there. And I'll show you about the Sovereignless Soul and what I mean by getting a free level up later. There's a really particular reason why I haven't used it yet. Using it will give you a whole bunch of souls, but if you die, you lose all the souls that you got. So if you hold on to the Sovereignless Soul, you won't lose it. So it gives you around 2,000 souls. Not around, it gives you exactly 2,000 souls. And you'll lose those 2,000 souls if you don't spend them and then you die and aren't able to pick them back up. Okay, I guess I'll have to try again to get that. I'll explain what I was doing there. So that's a drop attack, a plunging attack. It's really, you know, it's good when you can use it. I'll show you all the different places that you are able to use it. So there is an item. By the way, no matter how thick or thin you make your character, you run, jump the same speed, like everything. So you don't have to worry about it. So there you have to sprint and jump right at the edge, and you can grab this Titanite shard, which is going to be useful for later. We need 2 of them for them to even be moderately useful, but for now we'll hold on to it. So I believe there's also an item down that way. You have to come over here. You have to walk down this path. And yeah, so you have a crossbow guy, and then someone using a spear and shield. You always want to make sure that when you're fighting little guys like this, you don't randomly run out of stamina, because you don't want to die to really easy enemies. But again, this is kind of like a basis for how the game is going to go. So if you mess up a few times, what you can do is you can come back to this bonfire over here and just rest. It will restart all of the enemies, but you'll get all your health and Estus back. So I'm going to go ahead and unequip this. Go to inventory, unequip that because I'm not going to be using that, and then I'm going to unequip that as well. I'm only using the firebomb. I'll show you why I need the firebombs. Not super important at this current juncture. So we're going to just jump back down this way. We don't have to fight all the enemies as we're going back. Do a plunging attack there. Sidestep so that that guy can't hit us. It takes a lot of shield strength to fully block crossbow and arrow bolts with your shield. You'll still take a tiny bit of damage. So it's better just to kind of step out of the way. So this boss fight doesn't actually start until you go up to that guy in the middle, so you can kind of just walk around the arena. However, there's nothing in here. So this is Iudex Gundyr. He is weak to strike, lightning, bleed, frostbite, and the Farron Greatsword. He is resistant to dark and immune to poison and toxic. Unlikely that you'll have most of these things. If you're the thief, you have a knife that does bleed, so that's kind of cool. And you can actually check what type of damage your sword, like your weapon does. So mine does standard and thrust, so it does not do strike. Tiny bit of lore about Iudex Gundyr. The many years Gundyr waited for the Ashen One to claim the coiled sword caused the dark to corrupt his body to the point where a creature has come to life in its body. We can assume decades or centuries passed since Gundyr awaits, rendering his technique dull and making him weak when the player first meets Iudex Gundyr. So, to start the fight, let's do this. You take out the coiled sword. And you can actually hit him a bit here before things start. So, with pretty much everything in this game, my main recommendation is you always leave enough stamina for at least one dodge. So you never attack more than you can for, like, to leave a dodge. Gundyr can be kind of tough because of his attack patterns being really sweeping and ranged. And some of his combos last a long time. So I'm not really going to be blocking. And if you two-hand a weapon, you do slightly more damage. So I'll probably just be doing that because I doubt I'm going to be able to successfully block many of his attacks just because of how much damage he does. Alright. Yep. Alright. Now the corruption is here. So the corruption is weak to fire. I don't think he freaks out about it. No, he does not. But as you can see, it does more damage now that the corruption phase is here. Oh. Don't worry, I'm good at this game. I'm not gonna die. I promise. I might die. Okay, I'm trying to remember his attack patterns. Alright, so now you should be able to just smack him down. Again, you want to be a little careful that you don't get stun locked by his attacks. There you go. So then you kill him. So some tips for his attacks is when he does that leap thing, he actually pauses for a surprising amount of time before he slams down. And a lot of his attacks are sweeping. You can actually dodge toward him for most of his attacks because he lunges forward. And if you time it correctly, you don't actually get hit. The invincibility frames are pretty huge on him. However, again, if you're running something with bleed, he can go down a lot faster. And there is a way to cheese him. You can look up Iudex Gundyr cheese, and you have to use a bow. But you can cheese him. Animation lock him, make it so he can't move. Alright, and there we go. We have officially beaten the tutorial area. So now we're going to go on for some more items. There is a broken straight sword. I still am not 100% sure why it's there, other than like someone maybe using it as like a challenge run thing later on. But it's not good. It doesn't really sell for anything. So I don't actually know why it's there. So immediately as we get that broken straight sword, we can come down here and grab this homeward bone. Homeward bones are useful. I pretty much always have one in my inventory, in my quick slot, just so I can use it. What's nice about homeward bones is if you're being chased by something, it takes a second to activate, but you can click it and immediately go to the shrine bonfire. You can actually, if you use that right there, you can actually go straight to the shrine, skipping all of this part. So you can hit this guy. You can also kick him, you can backstab him, do whatever you want to do. It's fun kind of kicking him off the edge. Alright, so right here, there's a couple of enemies that both die in 2 hits, and then these guys also both die in 2 hits. Oh, sorry, the bow guy dies in 1, my bad. So kicking is just pressing the attack button forward at the exact same time, which there. You can do that if they're holding up a shield. Most of the shields in the game, you can kick them down. If they have enough poise, that just simply won't work until you get a ring that boosts your kicking. So there is the shrine bonfire. Before we get in there, I'm going to show you the rest of the items that you can get in this area. So one that you can get is up this way. You see on this tree right here, there's a shield. East-west shield. I've never used that shield, so I'm not really sure how good it is. If you're a knight and you're relying on shields, the knight shield is pretty dang good. There's really nothing bad about it. Alright, right up here, you can see a guy there in the distance. That is the sword master. So this guy is extremely hard to fight, but he gives you a weapon called the Ujigatana, which if you are using a dex build, it is a seriously amazing weapon. However, since he is so difficult to kill, people have learned how to cheese him. So one thing you can do is you can make it so he does a lunge attack toward the edge, and he'll fly off the edge. Or you can bait him and then hit him. So as you can see, he's doing a lot of damage, not just to my shield, but to me as well. Alright, there you go. So you hit him off the edge and he'll die. So he does drop the Uchigatana, but as you can see, since he fell off the edge, we don't get it. Basically, all you have to do is go and rest at the shrine bonfire and come back here, and where he was standing, the Uchigatana will be. So I'll show that once we get there. You come up on top of the shrine bonfire entrance, and you get an ember. So when you beat a boss, you can see that it said ember restored up on the top of the screen. That just gives you extra health and lets you have access to multiplayer. Lore-wise, it restores your unkindled flame to the ember status. I'm not actually 100% sure. But you can use embers to instantly restore that without having to fight a boss. The game provides you with plenty of embers. So you come over here, get another ember. Like I said, plenty of embers. Literally, the first boss gives you an ember, and then you get 2 embers immediately after the first boss. So there is so the next thing we have to do is we come in here. So this is the Firelink Shrine. We're going to be literally returning to this every episode. So what we need to do is we need to go and we need to put the coiled sword we got from Iudex Gundyr into that little ashen pile. But the first thing we are going to do is we're going to head up this way, because there is a secret up here. A secret which I want you guys to have. So you can also examine Yep. There you go. The seed of a giant tree is yet to fall. There you go. Nice and cool. I don't actually know the lore about that. So there's a soul of a desecrated corpse out here. And then here is the secret. So this tree and that roof are lined up. So where if you do the jump, if you time your jump correctly, you can actually land on the roof and get up to the roof sooner than what you were supposed to do. Because you're supposed to be able to get a key for this. And that's how you get in there. But this is how you do the secret. Now I may have to speed this up. I'll speed this up until I get it. But you'll kind of get to see how to do it from here. I almost had it on my second try. Alright, let's do it. Okay, we did it. So, as you saw there, I unequipped everything. That does make you kind of go a little further with some of your abilities, so if you're having trouble, you can always do that. I forgot that that's almost the only way to get up there if you're running, if you're not running a Dex build, because Dex will make you, it does make you slightly faster. Unequipping your armor does help. So you can run away all the way to this side of the building, and there's nothing over here. That's literally somewhere that you've been before, and the last thing you want to do is to get up here and then fall back down and have to repeat that process. But what you do want to do is you want to come in right here. So, this is above Firelink Shrine. This is a secret. Alright, so you're gonna come up this way. This is...
Me, pickle pea. Me, bumperum.
So, you drop things for Pickle Pea, and she gives you things. We don't have anything really to give her right now. But, yeah. So, there's that, and then there's the Estus shard over there, which I'll show you what that does in a little bit. But the last thing we're going to do is we're actually kind of come to this wall and dodge. And it's an illusion wall! Hooray, the first illusion wall in the game. So, right here, we're above the top throne of Firelink, but we want to go slightly past it to right here. This is a wall that is inaccessible unless you come unless you go over Pickle Pea and come over here. So, you're going to fall right here, take a little bit of damage, and this is a chest. Now, in the game, it is always good and always recommended to always hit the treasure chest before you try to open it, because if it's a mimic and you open it, it will instantly kill you. This chest is never a mimic, so you never have to worry about that. But I'm going to be doing that with every single chest, even if I know it's not a mimic. So, this is a ring. Hooray! Foes give you more souls. This is something, again, that you can get at the very beginning of the game using that little glitch. I'm not sure if they kept that in there intentionally or they just, you know, whatever. But you can use that to get a little bit of extra souls from every kill. It is definitely useful to get right at the beginning of the game. It does not, however, affect how many souls you get from breaking down souls. It's just from dropped souls. So here I'm going to be doing the Soul of the Nameless Soldier. You can either use it or you can bring it to the Shrine Maiden here. I'm not going to listen to all of her dialogue. Shrine Handmaid. You can sell it to her for 2,000 or you can just use it. You can do that with any of the souls that you pick up. So sometimes it's easier just to go use them. And then sometimes, if you have a lot, you can just go and sell, and it'll be like, how many? Do all of them. The stuff that she has to buy, the only thing that's like secret-wise is the tower key, and it is not worth farming for 2,000 souls, 20,000 souls at the very beginning of the game. If you're going to buy only one thing from her, I would buy a white soapstone. You can use, or a homeward bone, or some fire bombs. But the white soapstone lets you get some of the different worlds, which, again, we're not going to be able to use until a bit later. So, before we go talk to ye old Firekeeper, we're going to talk to Andre.
Well, I am Andre. I serve at this shrine. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
So, Andre, this is where we're going to go to reinforce our weapons to make them more powerful, which is why I said we need 2 Titanite shards to make them relevant. 1 does not help. We can infuse weapons with different gems. There's an achievement for infusing a weapon with every single type of gem. Do each of the infusions. A lot Estus. I'm going to do it into this because I'm not going to be using a ton of the magic. So I'm probably not going to be needing any of the Ashen Estus flasks. But the Ashen restores magic. The life, the regular one, restores health. And then reinforce, this is where we're going to use the Estus shard. As every time you pick up an Estus shard, you can bring it to Andre and give it to him for reinforced Estus flask, and it will give you another Estus flask. So now I have 5 instead of 4. Alright, and then you can talk to him if you'd like. There are no other vendors. I have no other vendors yet. So that is the Shrine Handmaiden. I forgot. I'm also just going to sell her this really quick. I'm not going to use it. Okay, over here we have...
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we are talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think?
So this is Hawkwood. He's a bummer every time you see him. The lore behind him is he actually is presumed to be one of the Undead Legion, one of the Abyss Watchers previously, because his sword is an Abyss Watcher sword. And later on we're going to fight him in the Abyss Watchers arena. So he is thought to be one of them.
Asking us to seek the Lords of Sin. We're talking true.
He just repeats the same dialogue. So he gives you a gesture. He's one of the things you have to talk to. Now you can talk to the Firekeeper.
I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee.
That guy's thick.
The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end I am at thy side.
Okay, so the Firekeeper is who we're going to talk to level up and do other things later on in the game.
Very well, then touch the take nourishment from...
So basically when you talk to her, you can level up, and the amount of souls that you get, you can level up from. So I am going to put 2 into strength, and I guess 2 in the... No, wait, not faith. 3 into luck, and 1 more into endurance. There we go. And end it at that.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Alright. So there's a reason I'm doing all of that. The strength is because the weapons I'm using are strength based. So it's better to have strength. The endurance is making it so I can like roll and dodge and attack more. And the luck makes it so I have a higher chance of dropping good stuff. So now this is where we take the coiled sword and put it in the thing. Alright, and the shrine bonfire has been lit. And that concludes the very first episode of this game. Next episode, we're going to be moving on to the High Wall of Lothric. Moving on to the first area in the game, because this is technically a prologue area. And I'll be able to start showing you more and more secrets as the game goes along. Sorry this episode ran really long. There was a lot of like tutorial stuff to go through, and the beginning section, it's hard to split it up into multiple sections. But yeah, now we have everything in the Firelink Shrine that we can get thus far. We've talked to everybody that we can to thus far, and we've put in the coiled sword. So the only thing left to do is to rest at the bonfire and move on to the next area, which we'll do in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out, bros.